Welcome to the Haymaker MMA Show with your hosts, Tanasha and Ian Wall.
To start the main card, we have two killer Brazilian women. We got Amanda Ribas and we have Marina Rodriguez, a classic striker versus ground game specialist fighters, and a classic matchup in that case.
Yeah, you know, both of them kind of started and got to the UFC as more specialist people, striking in with Rodriguez and grappling with Ribas. But both of them have been getting more experience and deadly in the other facets. Ribas has been looking nice on the feet recently with some good Muay Thai in her past fights, and Rodriguez has looked decent on the ground also, facing a bunch of grapplers. You got her last fight with Carla Esparza. She looked good. She lost it, but she looked good off her back. She did a lot of damage. And all of Ribas's takedowns that I'd seen, most of them are up against the cage from a body lock or a trip of some sorts. And Rodriguez is sick in the clinch. She does really good work, Muay Thai work in the clinch. So that being Ribas's main way to take her down, and submission being her main way of victory in this one. I actually think Rodriguez might have a better shot than most people would consider, and Ribas is coming in with a hefty value next to her name with a minus 325. So all of that being said, I like Marina Rodriguez by points for a fucking I think it was like plus 270 or something.
Yeah, plus 270 is right. Carla Esparza took her down pretty easily, man, and a bunch of times. And Amanda Ribas, I think, is smarter with it, with her energy and everything like that. You said like trips and body locks, and I think if she gets close enough where she can avoid that, the clinch, but it's a little separated where you eat shit. But if you're so close, you can't really eat punches or anything. If she can get there, like close body to body, and take Marina down, I think she gets a submission. And I feel like there's a reason why Amanda is like a over minus 300 favorite, and I think she's gonna win. I was thinking I might toss a few bucks for her by submission just because she's basically a specialist, and she has a win over Mackenzie Dern, who's a beast on the ground. So yeah, I like Amanda Ribas, probably submission, but definitely her to win.
Next one up on the card, we got Matt the Steamroller Frevola and Ottman Izattar, who had a good performance on the Khabib Poirier card last time on Fight Island. And Frevola is more of a kind of wrestling guy, but has been known to bang and been in some brawls recently in the UFC. But how do you see this one playing out tonight?
Yeah, like you said, Frevola is a grinder. He's that wrestler who's just gonna, anything happens, just shoot, and he won't stop shooting. And that's how he'll get like decisions or maybe a late finish, either ground and pound or like a submission or something. But his strategy is to get you to the ground. And ZATTAR has fucking 10 TKO KOs out of 13 wins and 2 submissions. And I saw his last couple of fights, the one on the Khabib Poirier card and then one on the Michelle Waterson and Angela Hill card. Both of them were crazy knockouts. He just sparks you basically unconscious. Saw the guy last time was basically shivering.
He looks small too. He looks real small,
yeah,
but he packs a punch.
But he's got a bomb in those hands, man. So yeah, I don't know how much ZATTAR works on his wrestling, and normally you would say that the wrestler would take the guy down, but I think ZATTAR, man, those hands, and as much as it stays standing, he's gonna get the win. And I think he's only a slight favorite. It's less than minus 200. It's about minus 170 right now. And I do like that pick for any parlay. And if you're feeling confident, go for the knockout, honestly.
Yeah, he's got 9 first-round knockouts, so definitely deadly in the first round. The only thing that trips me up with it is that his grappling hasn't really been tested in the UFC. The submissions came early on in the career where he's fighting a lot of other green guys also, where you tend to see some more rear naked chokes and stuff. But against a guy, I don't think he's fought a guy with a grappling with Frevola. Now, I think it's going to go two ways. He either gets clobbered early and gets knocked the fuck out, Frevola does, or hopefully he can learn from some of his other fights where when he would try to brawl and stand and bang with the guys, he would end up losing it. The Marco Polo Reyes was his first loss. He got fucking clobbered in the first round, knocked out cold because he was just trying to, throw down and bang. Lando Venata had a 10-8 round where he just fucked him up. But when he kind of did his own thing and mixed in a little more grappling, I think he had some success. So for that reason, I'm gonna stay away from it, but I'm gonna feather in like a quarter unit bet on Frevola by money line, because I think maybe in the second and third round, if he can weather the storm in that first round, I don't think Ottman has seen those rounds, and I don't know if he can keep up with the grappling. So I wanted to stay away, but I'll sprinkle a little bit on Frevola money line.
My quarter unit would go to ZATTAR first round knockout.
Okay, definitely a strong one too. I don't know what odds you're going to get on that because of how much, how frequent it happens, but
that's where my money would go. I don't know.
That's my snipe of the main card for personally. We'll see.
Definitely. We got another fight at the top of women's flyweight.
Shoo!
Jessica Evil Eye and Joanne Jojo Calderwood. They're both coming off losses. But they're both looking to bounce back for sure, and they've been on top of the pile. Like Jessica Eyes fought for a belt. Calderwood almost fought for a belt, but then got choked out by Jennifer Maia, unfortunately, and then she got the belt against Valentina. I did feel bad for her for that one because she was a lock, and Valentina pulled out. She took the fight. I like that she stayed busy and saved an event or whatever, but tough getting your neck strangled by a jiu-jitsu black belt and Jennifer Maia. Either way, though, these girls are just pretty well-rounded, I think. Joanne Calderwood's kind of a dog. I like her. And Jessica, sometimes she annoys me with what she has to say and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
I want to root for her. I want to root for her, But sometimes she just comes up and she's like, I missed weight, but I'm so happy with what I'm doing. That's not good, man. You missed weight, just be like, yeah, I'm sorry, I fucking missed weight.
And it's nothing in particular, just overall, whatever it is.
It keeps happening. But whatever, though. I like Joanne Calderwood. I think overall she's better. And they're both it's minus 114 and minus 106, minus 114 for Calderwood. And I like that bet. Maybe I'll throw it in a parlay or something. I think she bounces back.
Man, me and you are clashing heads tonight. This is one that I don't think I'm going to, make too many plays at or anything. But when I looked at, kind of both of their records and then going back and watching the fights in particular, I looked at, Jessica Eye's fight against Caitlin Chookagian, who's been looking great recently. I think is one of the best point fighters in all of the UFC. Definitely not the most exciting, but, she's got a win over her recently. And Calderwood's got a loss to her and sprinkled in some other losses to Calvillo, Andrade, and then her wins aren't necessarily as impressive to me as the Jessica Eye wins when I look at her her resume with the Viviane Araújo and some other good Jessica Rose Clark. So with that experience and higher level competition, for whatever reason, I think that plays a lot into the women's MMA aspect of things. So I can see a future with Jessica Eye winning, but I don't think I'm letting anything fly on this one. In the co-main event, we got Dan the Hangman Hooker against Michael Chandler. Dan's one of my favorite Australian fighters right now. I feel like he just gets after it, doesn't give a fuck about anything. He's just here to fight. I feel like he's almost like the Donald Cerrone of the Australian generation. For whatever reason, I get the same kind of vibes. Australian Donald Cerrone. In a fight in the newcomer, Michael Chandler spent his life at Bellator. Had some good fights, but definitely not as against the name opponents that even Dan Hooker in a couple of years in the UFC has had his fights against. But should be a good one. How do you see this playing out?
Yeah, Dan Hooker is like the asshole version of Cowboy,
right.
And I kind of love it.
Which is the Australian version, right? Isn't that Australian version?
Yeah. So Chandler, he's fought Eddie Alvarez. That's the only, and Benson Henderson, the two guys that were in the UFC. I think he split fights with Eddie Alvarez. He beat Benson Henderson right before he signed for the UFC. And obviously Benson's a little older, but definitely the toughest fight Chandler's gonna ever face, I think. fucking Dan Hooker, dude, gets better every single fight. He loses to he lost to Edson Barbosa, then won 3 in a row, including Paul Felder, and then had a sick performance against Dustin Poirier. Obviously, that was an awesome fight, but he lost it just 48-47, which isn't bad against Dustin Poirier because that guy's a killer. He didn't get finished.
Sick fight.
Yeah, he didn't get finished. He held his own, and then he comes and says, "Dude, that was my worst performance. I never want to see that happen again." So I can only imagine he's prepared, and apparently a lot of people said no to Michael Chandler, but Dan Hooker got the balls. He's the captain of City Kickboxing, New Zealand, and he's gonna fucking, I think, welcome Michael Chandler with a pretty hellish fight and get a tough, grinding win.
Yes.
The only thing Chandler has is if he can grab those legs, but Hooker is so tall for 155 that it's tough to take him down very often. So I think Dan Hooker is gonna get that.
So much range. He's got like a 4-inch height and reach advantage.
Yeah.
And when I try to do some research on this, I like to look at the matchups. You can't watch every goddamn fight, but I like to look at the matchups that the guys who kind of have a similar skill set to the guys that they're going to be fighting. And, I look at Jim Miller, Gilbert Burns, and Al Iaquinta were 3 of the big ones that I think would be the most similar, with Al being the most similar kind of fighter to Michael Chandler. Having a good or a decent striking game, but also having that wrestling background to always surprise people with. But like I said, with that reach advantage, that height advantage, I think he's going to be so much more likely to be able to keep the distance and have that takedown not play as much of a factor. Like you said, though, if he can scoop him up, I'm blanking on his fucking name. Chandler is a good fucking wrestler, is not to be trifled with on the ground. So he really gotta avoid that takedown. But on the feet, he's just I think he's on another level than Chandler.
Yeah, but Chandler throws with a lot of power too. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, those wild hooks.
It could be the thing how Khabib clipped Conor. Chandler could clip Hooker like that, and he's got heavy hands. I've seen them a couple of fights, not too many at Bellator. I'm not gonna lie about that. But I think if Hooker doesn't get knocked out by Poirier, he's not gonna get knocked out by Chandler like that. I don't care how surprising it is.
Exactly.
But dude, Chandler, world class wrestling, Missouri, got I think 3 belts. 3 times he won that lightweight belt at Bellator. So we'll see what happens, but I definitely like Hooker.
Also could be a sneaky Hooker's got a guillotine finish in the UFC also, and it was a nice fucking guillotine, and it was the perfect time to do it, so maybe, just maybe, we might see that opportunity arise again for him.
Dan Hooker's got the longest limbs you've ever seen, man. And he throws knees, shoulder, elbows from anywhere. Just, I don't know. He's very dangerous. I'm sorry that Michael Chandler had to fight Dan Hooker in his first fight in the UFC. That's a nice welcome, Uncle Dana. Thank you.
Big Hooker guy, that Tanai. Big Hooker guy.
Finally, in the main event, we have the return of the notorious Conor McGregor taking on the Dustin Diamond Poirier, the man with all the heart. And
he's getting no love.
I know, he's getting no love. It's a shitty line for Dustin Poirier, but he deserves a lot of love after what he's done in the past 3 years. After being knocked out by McGregor in 2016, the man's taken his game to the next level, won a belt, fought for the Unified Championship also, and he's done just great. Ian, give us your thoughts on this fight.
Oh, dude, you know what? I've been getting pissed off all week leading up to this, and even last week's with all promotion and stuff. I understand they're doing what they got to do, but everything is Conor McGregor being the man and the unstoppable force, and how is Dustin Poirier gonna climb this mountain? When you take all the media and shit aside and you kind of boil it down and look at it, look at Poirier's last fights. You got the Hooker fight, Holloway, Eddie Alvarez, Gaethje, Pettis, and before that he fought a 22-year-old Max Holloway.
That's 5 former champions, just to put that in context.
Fucking crazy.
Or current champions.
And they're all the last goddamn fights.
Yeah.
And then you move over to Mr. McGregor's record you got there. And you got 1-1 record with Nate Diaz, right? That's a good win. Nate Diaz. And he's got almost as many losses as he does wins. Still a great name, still a great win to have on your belt, but nothing too fucking crazy when you talk about a legend or the greatest of all time or whatever. And then he's got a win over Max Holloway. Say, oh, that's great. Max Holloway just is a fucking animal. That was, I think it was 6 years ago.
20,
yeah, he was 22 years old.
Yeah.
He's 28 now. And you've seen the complete evolution after that. And then you got the Jose Aldo and Eddie Alvarez are the two other the only notable ones that are before that, which are great performances. But you got a 1 second knockout in Jose Aldo. Max Holloway beat the fuck out of Jose Aldo for however many rounds straight. And Poirier fucks him up. I know you don't like the MMA math, but I hate the disrespect that this goddamn man is getting. That the whole B side of the moon, that he's really got a dragon to climb in front of him. It's there. It's not going to be easy, but it's in the fucking realm, Dustin. You can fucking do it, my man. I'd love to see him fucking get it done. He's got everything in his goddamn wheelhouse. McGregor's so goddamn dangerous on the feet, but Poirier showed he's got a heart of fucking steel, chin of iron, super hard to put out. And over these 5 rounds, shit, McGregor hasn't been in these deep 5 rounds, and when he has, it hasn't been looking the best. So fuck, the diamond all the way, baby. Take it to the bank.
All right. So McGregor, the reason why he's such a heavy favorite, because he's fucking dangerous, dude. His left hand is a killer, bro. Like, you see what he did to Eddie Alvarez moving up in weight? He destroyed him for a round and a half whenever it was called. And it was so one-sided that you can't imagine. Like, that was one of the most flawless performances I've ever seen. Probably the most flawless in a title fight. And that's after he knocked out Jose Aldo in fucking 10, 15 seconds or whatever. And the Nate fights, I understand that he went up 2 weight classes. He went from 145 to 170. So that power at the time, it didn't translate that quickly, you know what I mean? And also he got really tired in the first fight. And the second fight he looked a lot better. He got a second wind. And yeah, that's the reason why he's such a big favorite. Like, I understand the promotion and everything. They got to do that. They got to sell their 1.5 million, 2 million pay-per-views, whatever they're expecting. And I'll say the same thing as Ian. Don't fucking count Dustin out, dude. He's beat everybody you can think of. He's put on a run. He's fought for the actual belt, had the interim belt wrapped around his waist. And, dude, I don't know. I mean, this is such a hard pick to make. I can see McGregor just coming in and torturing him in, like, within a round. But I can also see Poirier making it a dirty fight and then being smart enough in the later rounds to get a decision or finish him after he gets a little tired. I don't know. McGregor said he's like feeling the best he's ever felt, looking the best he's ever looked.
He looks fucking good too.
But he says it every time.
I know, he does look good
and
though.
He said that against Cowboy. He killed Cowboy also. So yeah, dude, this is one of the toughest fight to call. You know what I mean? Because the styles are pretty similar. They both box, kickbox. They use their kicks a lot as well. But we'll see if Mystic Mac fucking motivated McGregor, whatever you want to call him. If that guy turns up, I find it hard for him to lose, man. As much as I want Dustin to win, I find it hard for him to lose, unless it's a Khabib or someone who's just gonna, put him on his back, continuously.
Shake the tree, Dustin. That's what I want.
Yeah, I want the upset bad, man. I think Dustin, that would be one of the coolest stories in sports, man.